Don't you just hate when you meet someone at a party and you just want to get to know them, or you're at the store and the person right next to you or behind you or wherever they are, it's really cool and helpful, and you're like, I want to get to know them, but you didn't? Well, I'm not going to be that way because I'm going to tell you about me. My name's John Fletcher Rabin, as you know, but you can call me Ian because that's the name I like to go by. I was born the 18th of February, 1999. I'm 15 because you can do math, hopefully. Um, I have one sibling. She's 13, and she will be turning 14 this December. But enough about my family and making bad jokes at you. Um, let's get to the fun stuff. When I was 5, we moved to a house on the lake. I took up a weird hobby that was wakeboarding. I don't know if you've ever heard of wakeboarding. It's like skiing with one ski sideways. Weird thing for someone who's never seen it before, but wakeboarding became a thing I did every day after school because I homeschooled, so I had plenty of time to do it. I did it every day until I started competing, and I found out I was really good at it. So I signed up for the national championship, world championship, any big competition that I could do, and I won the national championship and world championship every year for 3 years in a row till the age of 11. That was when we moved. It was a bit expensive to live at the lake. My dad didn't like his job, so we moved here to Taylor so my father could start his recycling company called Wilco Recycling. If you've ever been near Taylor or Hutto, you'll know where that is. But before we moved here, when we were looking for houses, my mom made my dad promise that we would buy a farm because she wanted to start a farm that we could raise lots of animals on. So we started a small farm called Fresh Pastures Farms, and we started raising animals so that we could sell to the people who would drive from anywhere. Yeah, and that included Austin and San Antonio, anywhere. So around that time, I was still homeschooling. I'd been homeschooling since third grade. I was getting a bit sick of it just being me, my mom, my sister. So I decided that my 8th grade year, I was going to go to Thrall, the local middle school. So I started 8th grade with in an actual middle school, and it was really entertaining because I got to do sports, which I'd never gotten to do before. I'd gotten to meet a whole bunch of new people. Up until that point, I'd had one really good friend, and he was the only person that I knew there. He was the whole reason I sort of went. But I did sports. I did football, basketball, golf, track. I did anything they offered pretty much. They had tons of fun classes like computer, leadership, which we'll get onto later, and just fun classes. Like I took advanced classes that year in my 8th grade year. I took algebra, which you're not supposed to do when you're in 8th grade. You're supposed to be taking pre-algebra. So I took algebra, which was with a bunch of freshmen, which was pretty fun. And I still talk to a lot of them to this day. They're juniors now at that same school, and I still talk to a ton of them. But now that you know about me, I guess I'll talk about Legacy. So when I started Legacy, that was a week before my freshman year. My dad went to a city council meeting. Miss Kelly was there talking about our principal, Miss Kelly, was there talking about Legacy, and he heard about it. And he thought it was an amazing program. Told me about it. Gave me a week to think about it. I did football camp. Came back. Decided I want to go to Legacy. I want to challenge myself. So I went to Legacy. I didn't know anyone because I'd missed fish camp, which is a thing they do early in the summer. I'd completely missed that, so I knew no one except one person who's my friend. He was from church. I knew him from church. That was the only person I knew. And now we're all the best of friends. We all hang out together a ton. Uh, it's just fun. But they never had a speech class. Now that was a thing I had in 8th grade that I'll talk about. So I mentioned leadership class. Well, leadership, but it was more focused on speaking, like, because what's leadership without communication? Nothing really. You just have chaos. So I had a leadership class, which was one of my favorite classes because I love speaking to people. Essentially, what you do in leadership class was just write speeches, give them in front of the entire class. I was completely comfortable with this. Everyone else was a little bit awkward, but hey, I would just get up there and speak because that's what I like to do. I'll just go up to some random guy walking down the road and I'll be like, "Hey, my name's Ian. How are you doing?" Or, "Hey, I'm not afraid to ask you a question, yo. What do you like? What's your favorite flavor of pie? Huh? You can tell me that next time we're talking on Wednesday." Um, but yeah, I'm just not afraid to talk to people. I like to get up there and talk. I'm in my Boy Scout troop. I'm actually the chaplain's aide because I love to give sermons, scouts on Sundays, do the prayer, stuff like that. I love positions of leadership because they allow me to speak to other people, to communicate, which I love to do. It's definitely one of my favorite things, and I look forward to this year's speech with you because I love to speak. I want to learn how to speak better because, as you can tell, I'm probably a little not the best speaker, not the best at getting my point across, but yeah, I like to speak to people and just can't wait to for me and all my friends to do speech with you this year. Get better.